It's June 7th, 2003. Torrey Jones was walking home to his apartment in Canoga Park. He was approached by a stranger and immediately shot. Torrey was only 23 years old and his family needs your help.
My son Torrey was a wonderful young man. We were a very close-knit family, and he's the oldest of three. They were all very close. You know, of course, they had the little sibling rivalries here and there, as most typical, brothers and sisters do about different things. But overall, they loved each other. They were there for each other. He was there for them, and they were there for him. And the most wonderful thing about Torrey is that he was always a happy person. Very compassionate young man, very loving and giving. His love of people. Even as a child, he expressed that how he cared about people. He never knew a stranger. Each and every person that came into his presence, he treated them as though he had known them forever. And even some of his friends have even come to me and shared with me how Torrey had even taught them how to approach other nationalities. And just care. He was just a very caring and loving person. Sometimes some of his friends got in trouble in the home and their parents would put him out. And he would come to me and ask, Mom, so-and-so got put out, would you mind letting them in? And I would say yes. Our home was always a welcome mat, and whether he knew it or not, he was always expressing love towards others. And that just stems from the morals and values that he was taught as a child, and that was just, instilled with him from our own family values just growing up. He participating in the choir. He's a believer in Christ, as we were all founded in the Lord. Originally, we're from Indiana. We did move out here to California until 1994. He went on to graduate from high school, went on to pursue a degree in music at Wilberforce University in Ohio. Came back because he wanted to put further emphasis on his music and do some other, positive things. He was very articulate, very outgoing, always into sports, loved to laugh, loved family, loved life. Just a wonderful young man. It's just heartbreaking that he wasn't allowed to show, the world as a society, the gifts that he had to share. All the greatness that was inside of him that was taken.
On June 7th, 2003, victim Torrey Jones was walking near his apartment complex at the 21400 block of Chase Street in Canoga Park with one other male. It was about 10:45 at night. Almost the entire neighborhood is apartments, residential apartments, and it's a very short block. As the block gets closer to the major intersection, then it turns more industrial. Torrey and his friend were walking west back towards his apartment, and they were approached by the lone male suspect about 100 feet east of where he lived. The suspect approached Mr. Jones and his friend, who said something to the effect of, "What's up?" He produced a medium caliber handgun, wherein the suspect shot Torrey twice in the chest. The suspect then continued on and ran an east direction towards Canoga. Mr. Jones collapsed right there on the scene. The ambulance was summoned, and he was, I believe, he was transported by ambulance, but was pronounced in the ambulance or on the way to the hospital.
I just remember hearing this loud pound on the door, boom, 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 boom. And I went to the door, and one of my neighbors said, "Leela, we need you to come outside, because Torrey's been shot." And my heart just sunk, and I just remember seeing my child lying sprawled out on the sidewalk. And I just assumed he was just unconscious. I was trying to go to him. The paramedics had gotten there, and they already had the crime scene taped off. And I said, "If you just let me go and touch him, he'll get up." And they wouldn't let me go. It hurt so bad. It hurt because I didn't hear anything. I didn't see anything. What's really more hurting, nobody else saw anything or heard anything either, but all those people out there. That's what was the most frustrating part. I said, I don't understand all these people out here and nobody saw anything and nobody heard anything. And that's the sight I will always have embedded in my heart and will always have to live with a mother's or parents' worst nightmare, to see their child, die before them and to die in that manner. It was just very disheartening.
There's been no other witnesses that have come forward to say they observed anything that actually happened that night. There were several witnesses who have heard and have given some of the timeline before and after, but only the one witness that was with Mr. Jones was actually witness to the murder. Witnesses in this case have described the suspect as a male African American. At the time was 30 to 32 years of age, approximately 6 foot tall, about 200 pounds, a muscular build. He had close cropped hair or maybe a short haircut, may have had a scar on his face, unknown clothing description.
Exactly 1 year and 1 day of Torrey's death, my husband, the father of my children, had also passed from colon cancer. And the very grave that I had bought, it was a double grave that I had bought for my husband and for myself, I had to open up. The following year, I had to open up that same grave to put my child there. That wasn't supposed to be for Torrey. That was supposed to be for Mommy and Daddy. I look at it in two ways. In the natural, I look at it as, someone very dear to me has been taken. I was very angry for a while. Because I am a believer, I overcame that pain of being angry. During the time that I was preparing for Torrey's homegoing service, there was a moment when I was by myself in the bedroom and I just started praying. I said, okay, Lord, I don't know what this means, but I still trust you. I still give you glory. And I'm just going to look at this in the spiritual aspect of what good came out of this tragedy, and what more can I do as a mother or as a believer, as your servant, to help others that have been through this, or to somehow prevent someone else from doing this type of act, so that another family wouldn't have to experience what we've been through. And I pray, and I said, Lord, I just ask that there just be one person at Torrey's homegoing celebration that will come to you. And that happened. Not only was there one, but I got the report there was hundreds of people that stood up. Young people who perhaps had never been to church before. Young people who maybe, if they were really sincere in their hearts, really accepted Christ. So that's part of my healing, that I believe God answered my prayer. He also gave me a ministry that was birthed out of this pain, which is called Love One Another Outreach. What we do is just simply go out to the communities and try to bring young people together and to give them a message, this is what's happening in my community. Either I've got to help make a change, or I have to change myself because I'm part of the problem, and I want to be part of the solution. It's therapy for me. It helps kind of fill the void, to reach out to try to help make a difference.